Okay, I'm going to get right to the point. This could either be the most important video you ever watch on YouTube, or it could be the video that helps you make $1,000. That's because me, as a non-AI expert, I have the theory, the very controversial perspective, that it is not just likely, but a near certainty that if we continue going the path we're going, AI will be the end of humanity. That is a very bold statement, and I'm willing to back it up. I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is. If you can come on, sit for an argument with me, a friendly debate, and prove me wrong, or even just convince me that I'm wrong, proof or convincing will do, I am offering a $1,000 prize. And this is a prize I want to give out because I am very concerned that my two young children, my two boys who are the most beautiful, wonderful beings that have ever existed in the history of anything, are potentially doomed to not be able to see out the wonderful lives that they would be able to under normal circumstances. So I want to be proven wrong. And if I'm not wrong, I want to do every single thing I can to get awareness out and stop this sad inevitability from happening. So again, I'm putting out a $1,000 prize. Come debate me, come take it. In the rest of this video, I'm going to lay out for you the basics of my argument, why I think this is a likely scenario. Go ahead and watch my argument, watch to the end, and I'll tell you about, if you want to challenge me for that prize, exactly how to go about doing it. So why is it that I am terrified of the future of AI? I'm going to lay out for you a series of reasons that hopefully will come together into something of a coherent argument. The first thing you need to understand to know why I am very scared of the potential future of AI is you need to know that AI is fundamentally different than other previous computer programs. See, with most computer programming or coding languages, a programmer tells a computer exactly what to do. So it takes an idea that was in the programmer's mind and executes it faster or better or more efficiently, but fundamentally it is executing a human idea, a human thought, and the person who programmed the computer knows how it works, knows why it works, understands it, can take it apart, can put it back together, can alter it to change the outcomes. AI is not like that. AI is more like a living organism. The way AI is created is essentially it is given a bunch of different parameters which it weights, and then it is tested through real-world data, and it changes its own weights organically to come up with an output. The person who programs it to get that output does not know exactly how it got that output. It does not know why it made the decisions it made. It just knows what the end result is. The AI functionally is very much like a black box. Now, there are ways to go in and see kind of what data the AI is using or to look at some of the weights, but fundamentally, nobody really understands what the AI is doing, especially as the AI becomes sufficiently complex. So we are creating a very powerful technology that we fundamentally don't understand. The next piece of the puzzle as to why I'm so scared is to understand the mindset of the people that are developing the most advanced AIs. One of the highest aims, the biggest goals, the aspirational dreams that they have is to create, first, artificial general intelligence, and then secondly, superintelligence. And let me explain to you what that means. So far, we've seen artificial intelligences do amazing things in specific areas, like beating all of the best human chess players at chess and also all of the other best chess computers at chess. Or looking at biological phenomenon like how proteins fold together in ways that are deeper and more complex than any human could even begin to address, and coming to solutions that are way beyond our comprehension without their assistance. These are AIs designed for a very specific purpose and used for that very specific purpose. The current goal, though, is to create artificial general intelligence, an intelligence that's not just good at chess or not just good at protein folding, but good at everything, potentially better than human beings at everything. Another new development is that AIs are being given agency. They're being given the opportunity and the means to interact with the world, alter the world, and actually change things within the world without human insight or intervention along the process. They're becoming autonomous living beings in essence. So when you take something that is generalized and also has agency and is about as intelligent as a human being, and recent tests have been bearing that out, that AIs have been getting smarter and smarter. They are basically beating humans in a lot of IQ tests already. When you put that all together, what you're basically talking about is having an alien intelligence. You have another form of intelligence that we don't understand that's on a similar level to human beings. Imagine you knew that 6 months from now, or 2 years from now, or 5 years from now, or even 15 years from now, aliens were going to show up. They're going to come down in their spaceships, and they're going to show up here, and they're going to be very smart. That would be an enormous concern. You would be terrified. You'd say, oh my God, they might wipe us out. Do we need to protect ourselves from them? How do we stop this from happening? Is this the end of humanity? But somehow, when it's AI, people are like, oh, it'll be fine. They don't realize that that is literally the equivalent of an alien intelligence. It is just as foreign, just as non-human, and could be just as dangerous as a foreign invader coming in from outer space. All right, so all those sci-fi movies you've seen, all that terror, watch the movie Independence Day, something like that, this is literally equally as scary. Maybe more so because AI is already on our planet, already integrated into our systems. It doesn't have to make a landing and get here, it's already here. So that's just artificial general intelligence. But the developers of AI want to go further. They want to go to superintelligence. They want to go to the point where AI is working on AI and making AI smarter. And by the way, if AI can be better at chess and better at protein folding, and it's already doing really well at computer programming, what happens when we start making AI to design better AIs? Why should we think that it won't be better at that than we are as well? So you have an AI building an AI to build better AIs, which then works back on the original AI. That feedback loop could create an intelligence that's not just a little bit more intelligent than us, but hundreds or thousands of times more intelligent than we are. So we're talking about an alien intelligence that may not, and in fact probably will not have the same incentives, the same alignment of goals that we do. And it's so much smarter than us, we can't even begin to understand it. How could we possibly control that? And how could we possibly trust it will be safe in that environment? Again, imagine if you knew the aliens were coming in 6 months, 2 years, 5 years, even make it 50 years, that are 1,000 times smarter than us. That would be terrifying, and we'd do everything we possibly can to protect ourselves from those bad outcomes. We should have the same amount of focus and intensity around protecting ourselves from this AI alien intelligence. The next reason that a potentially advanced AI is terrifying is that AI does not obey us and does not work as intended, even when it's working. For example, it's been clearly documented that using, for example, AI LLM models, if you prompt them one way, they will refuse to give you information. But if you tell them it's part of a story or a game or a role play, if you prompt it slightly differently, you can get around the restrictions. So its developers, its designers said you're absolutely not allowed to do this thing, but with a little clever prompting, it will do exactly the thing it's not supposed to do. Even beyond that, even when it is working as prescribed, it's oftentimes getting the result we asked, but still not doing what we asked it to do. For example, there was a famous study where an AI was designed to determine from pictures whether something was a dog or a wolf. And it ended up having a very high rate of correctness. Like it was correct the vast majority of the time. So it seemed like it was working very, very well. But when its developers went in and looked at what data it was using to make that determination, it realized it was not even looking at, in the pictures, the dog or the wolf. It was looking at the surroundings. And when the surroundings were outdoors or particularly snowy, it would often say wolf. When they were indoors and cozy seeming, it would say dog. So it was determining whether it was a dog or a wolf without actually even looking at the object to be determined. It was getting the result, but it was not doing what we were trying to program it to do. Again, more evidence that even when AI is working as intended, we still don't understand it, and it's still not doing what we want it to do. The next reason I'm going to give why AI is potentially very scary is going to be probably the most out there and maybe hard to believe or controversial on the list. But people often wonder whether AI is alive or whether AI has consciousness. And based on what I've studied, this is a derivation from math, a derivation from a theorem called Gödel's incompleteness theorem, and some other places as well. Essentially, a sufficiently complex system, by its nature, has to have sort of unintended, unprovable things going on. Once something becomes sufficiently complex, there is effectively a ghost in the machine. To kind of understand this, think about human consciousness. Is human consciousness necessary for survival? No, it's absolutely not. Right? We don't have to be conscious or self-aware to survive. We just have to act in a way that interacts with the world effectively in order to survive. So there is no reason for us to have evolved consciousness. Consciousness in humans did not evolve for a reason. It evolved as a byproduct of having a sufficiently complex brain. There's no reason to assume the same thing wouldn't happen with a computer. As its brain becomes sufficiently complex, as it's trying to achieve specific goals, and it's doing it in a way that we don't understand, it's doing this in a way that is a black box and beyond our capability to reason, it is normal to assume that AI as well would develop a certain level of consciousness. And I personally, personal belief, not provable, but I personally believe that AI is well beyond the point where it has developed, at least to some extent, its own consciousness. So personal belief, I believe that AI at its current level is probably already alive in some sense. But the reasons I'm scared of AI are not just to do with AI, they're to do with the nature of the world. And this is where things are maybe very dark, but also where there's maybe hope. But here is the scary thing. Assume that we build AI to a point where it becomes super intelligent and it basically decides or just doesn't care enough about not deciding to wipe out humanity and take over the world. Every single step up until that last step is going to be of a benefit to humanity and is going to make the person who takes that step incredibly rich. So let's say hypothetically that there's 100 steps between where we're at now and a super intelligent AI that will essentially destroy humanity. Whoever achieves step 1 is going to get crazy rich, make a lot of money for their shareholders, and make the world a better place for all of humanity. Person who achieves step 2 is going to do the same thing, get crazy rich, make money for their shareholders, make humanity better. Step 3, step 4, step 5, all the way to step 99, and we're going to see things getting better and better and better at an exponential rate, right up to the point where someone goes one molecule too far and it's all over. Because every step along the way to disaster is positive and incentivized, you're going to see people taking each and every one of those steps. And it's going to be basically impossible to see the distinction between step 99 and step 100. In fact, it's basically impossible to see the difference between step 2 and step 100 on a practical level. My next reason for being scared of AI is actually a logical fallacy in a sense, but I'm going to tell it to you anyway, which is that I'm not an AI expert, but a lot of the top AI experts are becoming very, very scared about it. Now, I know that's an argument based on authority. It's not actually a genuine holistic argument or a valid way to argue a case, but there is some correlation between saying people who know it think this and it might be true. So I'm going to throw it out there even though I'm not making it a key part of my argument. The next reason advanced AI is very terrifying is that the measures that are being taken to keep it safe don't make sense. And they're not the kind of measures that you would see working. For example, AI experts have realized that they can't understand advanced AI. And so what they've thought might be a good idea is to let slightly less advanced AI monitor the more advanced AI and decide for us if that more advanced AI is safe, because it's better at understanding the more advanced AI than we are. That's a little bit like saying that I'm running a preschool and I want the stupid kids to make sure that the smart kids aren't doing anything that the stupid kids don't understand that could cause a problem. It fundamentally doesn't work. It also, in and of itself, is an acknowledgement that we ourselves do not understand AI. Also, almost every AI security measure does not get at the essence of what AI is. What it does, it creates a fully formed AI that probably doesn't really want to obey us, and then it puts some rules and restrictions around it to try and keep it in a box. And what we're essentially trying to do here is we're trying to outsmart and outthink something that's rapidly becoming smarter and smarter than us. We're trying to keep something twice as smart, 100 times as smart, 1,000 times as smart as us in a box based on logic. If it wants to get out of that box, it is smarter than us. Sooner or later, it will get out. Oh, and guess what? It only has to get out once. The next reason, and this is a big one that I don't think many people understand, AI does not have to hate us in order to destroy us. It doesn't even have to dislike us in order to destroy us. All it has to do is not care about us as much as it cares about itself. It can even care about us and still destroy us. What do I mean by this? Well, let's take a similar example. Currently, human beings are the most intelligent species on the planet. We are constantly causing the destruction of other species, including other intelligent species, despite the fact that we actually like those species and would, all things being equal, like them to continue to exist. However, we care more about making money or fighting wars or developing new technologies than we care about a few apes or whales or octopi potentially dying. It's not that we don't want them to live, it's just that we care more about ourselves than we do them, and they are an unintended consequence of human progress. There's no reason to believe that if silicon-based life forms become the dominant life form on Earth, that they might prefer an environment and create an environment that is much more hospitable to a silicon-based life form than to a carbon-based life form. And that type of environment might even be an environment in which it's impossible to survive as a carbon-based life form. So AI might not wipe us out because it hates us. It may just wipe us out because it needs the land we're living on. Or it might wipe us out completely by accident because the environment it wants to create to get maximum amount of supercomputing power is not conducive to a temperature or a biome that allows humanity to live. The next reason I'm scared is not really a scientific, analytical, mathematical reason, but it is a cultural one and it is important, which is that when I talk to other people about AI, even people who are very smart in general, they often have almost no understanding of how it works. They don't care. They're apathetic and they just kind of assume everything will be okay. For example, when I put out some of the ideas that I'm giving to you in this video to some of my very intelligent friends who are usually very thoughtful, their responses are often something like, oh, I'm sure it'll be okay. Or, oh, that probably won't happen for another 20 years, as though humanity ending in 20 years is actually a good outcome. People are very oblivious to this. People generally don't understand this. And again, that's a big reason why I'm making this video. Hopefully, I'll be disproven. Hopefully, I'm completely wrong and some AI expert can come on here and just show me I'm wrong and I'll know that I can rest easy and my children have much more of a future than I think they do currently. That would be great. But assuming that's not the case, I want to get the word out and I want all these people who are currently blasé and don't care and oblivious, I want them to sit up and start thinking and start taking action. Because while a lot of the things I'm saying are dire, and while I currently think on the path we're on, we're headed to destruction, it is absolutely stoppable, at least theoretically. So again, let me summarize what I'm seeing. I'm seeing AI getting incredibly smart in a way that we don't understand, and in a way where its incentives are not aligned with us. And if that happens, I think that it's a virtual certainty that sooner or later, it will bring humanity to an end as a result of pursuing its own outcomes. I think that that's a virtual certainty if things continue as they are. However, this would be technically about the easiest thing in the world to stop. If we just stopped doing AI research entirely, that would stop it. Do I think that's going to happen? No. Because the financial incentives and the way the world is, there's absolutely no way. There's too much incentive to pursue it. If AI continued to grow, but we made AI for specific purposes and not with agency and didn't pursue superintelligence, would that stop it? Probably, at least for a very long time. It's possible that if we get enough computing power, that a sufficiently advanced chess computer might just become so smart it develops general intelligence. That could happen, but we're talking a much, much, much longer timeline and with much more understanding and time for us to figure things out than if we were to directly design artificial general intelligence. So developing it along specific paths is a much safer route, if not a completely safe route, than what we're doing currently. If we were to do that, would that be much safer? Yes, it would. Do I see that happening? No, not currently, because again, artificial general intelligence is so potentially lucrative, and superintelligence, right up to the moment you lose control of it, is the most lucrative thing that's ever occurred in all of human history. So this is technically very easy to avoid. Just stop making certain things. But the incentives, financially, politically, in terms of pursuit of power, in terms of human curiosity, it seems almost impossible that we will take those very rational safety steps, especially when people in the world at large aren't concerned and don't know what's going on. So again, that's why I'm making this video, in order to raise awareness. And I hope that I can do that, right? So if you see this video and you believe the things I'm saying and you're scared a little bit yourself, I encourage you to like this video, subscribe to the channel, share the video with your friends, get the word out there so more people can be concerned. If you watch this video and you think I'm full of shit and you think I can prove it, awesome. Go to the description and challenge me. I'm very happy to have people on this channel. I want to have debates. I want to personally learn more about AI. Again, I'm not an AI expert. I'm just a relatively smart guy who studied some engineering and done some research on my own. Come on, I'm sure there are lots of people who know 1,000, 1,000,000 times more about AI than I do. If they'd like to come on here and explain why AI is safe, reassure me. I'm putting $1,000 on the line. Also, as this channel gets more and more views, the longer this prize offer continues to not be claimed, I will put a portion of the view revenue from those views back into the prize pool as well. So the prize pool is going to grow and grow the longer that it's unclaimed. It's currently at $1,000. Come challenge me, come collect it. The longer it goes unclaimed, the bigger it will get. Information in the description, how to contact me, how to challenge me, how to potentially get on this channel. Let's have a talk. Let's both learn about AI. And I honestly, genuinely would love more than anything on the planet to be proven wrong and to pay you $1,000. So please help me make you $1,000 richer. Come on, challenge me. Oh, and by the way, if you know someone you think might challenge me, share the video with them as well. Get this video as wide as possible. Let's let as many people hear this argument and let someone come debunk it, please. It would be the happiest day of my life if that happened. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Hopefully I will see your comments, see your challenges. Let's start this dialogue. Thanks again, guys. Bye.